Hey y'all, it's your boy Big Mike. You know that dude you be seeing on the streets and be like, hey, ain't that dude that be doing them YouTube videos? Yeah, that's me. And for today's topic, I'm gonna just be doing like a part two of the why you should get an education and talk about my experience with my online college that I went to 2 years ago, which was an online college called Independence University. And while I'm having this conversation with you, lovely people, I'm going to be eating some Alfredo pasta made with penne noodles and have me a slice of Texas toast. Got a little cold while I was doing my setup, but that goes to show that I love pasta, no matter if it's cold or fresh out the oven. It's delicious. Yeah, I've talked about this a little before, like I mentioned, but during this time when I was taking my online college, COVID hadn't come into play just yet. So I think if you're a little squeamish about sitting next to somebody and them coughing and the whole pandemic and coronavirus and stuff like that going around, I would highly suggest you take some online college classes. My college has since shut down, so you can't just go to Independence University like I did. But there are other colleges that you can attend, and mine was an accredited college, so I got my learn on, and it was the real deal. Now I'm just thinking back when I was in high school, how I was a little um I didn't just like going in front of the class and asking the teacher for help, and it kind of affected how my grades were. It's like it's like I remember in one of my math classes, the teacher, she did come to each individual student, if they raise their hand and say, teacher, I need help with trying to figure out this problem or whatever. But for the most part, you have to go in front of the whole class and stand at the teacher's desk and ask her, like, how to do this or whatever. And it was just a little different with me taking an online college class, because you still had your discussions and quizzes and stuff like that. But the interaction with your co-students is a little different than how you physically know pass notes and stuff like that. If you're trying to take a quiz and stuff like that, it's just like, I remember with one of my online classes, it was a math class that I had, uh, had to take algebra for, and I don't remember taking algebra when I was in high school. So The first time that I took the class, I flunked it with flying colors, just like well way below D minus over here, and had to take it a second time. So the second time, no, I was voicing my opinion and concerns and stuff about hopefully passing the second time I took the class. And they have tutors and stuff online that you can do, use or whatever. But it's still like, with them rehearsing what I was going over, the material, it was just like I just had the biggest problem with X minus Y and 7. And no, you shouldn't be mixing letters and numbers together. I still, like, even after passing the class this time, barely, still, I think I got like a straight C or a C plus or something in it the second time I took it. And it's just like, I just don't see why you need to put letters and numbers together. That don't make sense to me. But I had this one student. She kind of sent me or referred me to this app that really helped me with getting the answers, and show me how to work the math out. And it's like another QuickBooks. I was having problem with that resource also, because it wasn't a part of my books that I got with the course that I was taking, which was business management and accounting. But that was like another reason why I didn't pass the class the first time, because it's like I couldn't figure out how to download it or something. It was like I was like a good 2.5 weeks into the class before I got it the first time. That was, like I said, it was another reason why I didn't pass the class. So there are pros and cons as to why you should and maybe shouldn't just take online classes. Like I said, with this whole pandemic going around, it's safer for you to like work at home as long as you have Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi is another important thing. Like if you're in the middle of taking a quiz and the power goes out and you can't get it up and running, back on or whatever, before the timer, the quizzes, when I was taking my online classes, they're kind of timed. So you're going to want to take that into consideration too. Like, you're going to have to go to your teacher and explain the situation, and they may or may not be as understanding about your situation when they give you, well, for my college, they gave me a tablet excuse me, to start my classes, and then like a month and a half later they gave me this laptop, which I'm currently recording this video on. And the reason why I am so proud of my little college degree is because this, like I said before, in another one of my videos, my grandfather, he didn't know how to read. He had to go out and make money and pay for this lovely house that my grandparents were living in, and I spent some time in when I was younger. So thanks to him putting in all that blood and sweat, I could come back to Tennessee and have a roof over my head still. And my mother, she went to high school and got a diploma, but that's where her education stopped. So with me being the third generation talking about education, I think that every generation should improve upon itself. So from my grandfather not being able to read, and him and my grandmother was able to read, but they were for the most part cotton pickers or just finding odd jobs to just keep food on the table and roof over their head and that whole thing. So with my mom, she, like I said, she got a diploma and was working in Michigan at General Motors, and I think she topped out at like about $17 and some change. And this was back in the 80s and early 90s, where she later on had to retire because she had to come back down here and take care of her mother, well, both of her parents. But with me, I did my thing when I was in college, trust me. I made the honor roll twice, and the second time I made the honor roll, my grade point average was a 3.63, almost a perfect 4.0. Let me pat myself on the on the back for that one. And I also graduated cum laude, which means with honors. Like I said, if you're thinking about going back to school, I would strongly encourage you to take an online college course. I'm sorry. had 2 classes for each semester because I was so bored. In this one semester, I took 3 classes, and my workload got real heavy. Then it's like 2 was like okay, but I didn't just like really not like notice that until like I took that third one, and I had to like wake up early and stay up late to get that third class cleared. I even wanted to go back to school and get my bachelor's degree. But they were talking about I had to get caught up on my student loans for the associate's degree before I started my bachelor's. And then later I come to find out, no, I'm just like going back into my old classes and noticed that they had started me in the new bachelor's degree program. And I'm like, wait a minute, y'all just said that I needed to get caught up on my student loans. And then I don't remember them sending me an email saying that classes were going to start on this date. And then it's like I get a good week and a half behind, and I get caught up or whatever, and then they kick me out of class saying the same thing, like you need to get caught up in your student loan excuse me, of from the associate's degree, and then we'll let you into the bachelor's. And I'm like, I'm calling my the dean of the school, and he's like, yeah, you said something to the effect that you were going to pay X amount of dollars towards that, and then like when you get caught up or whatever, we'll let you back in. And I'm like, man, you're so full of crap. And there's a little bit more that I'm gonna go over, like when I get some comments or two, and then if it's a real important statement that I need to make, whoever I responded to, I'll pin them at the top so that you can get that little information and read a little more about my college experience. But yeah, everything happens for a reason, and it's like I got this no arthritis or carpal tunnel, whatever you want to call it, in my fingers. So right now I don't really just want to be writing a whole bunch of 700 and 900 word papers, because it's real hard for me to hold a pencil or even do any, well, a lot of typing or whatever, which college requires. Excuse me. But like I said, I would like really encourage you to get your learn on, and apply it to some kind of online business after you graduate, because that is just about the safest way for you to get, earn an income, rather than, going and being in a public building around a whole bunch of people coughing and sneezing, and that might just not be your cup of tea. So, my motto, even before I took my college classes, was higher learning equals higher earning. Get your learn on, and people will pay you more for what you know rather than what you can just physically do. If all you know how to do is pick up a paperweight, then they'll give you that minimum wage. But if you can, like, supervise a bunch of people and tell all of them to pick up a piece of paperweight or whatever, and any other kind of education you could use, those skills are more valuable than just being a manual labor kind of employee. So with that being said, get your learn on, people. It ain't what you know. What you can do is what you know also. So that's gonna do it for this week, folks. This is gonna be the last video, I believe, that I'm gonna do, if I don't just do this science versus religion, which I had originally planned to do today, but my co-host that I was gonna have kind of just got uncontactable, so I'm gonna have to reschedule that for the first week of April, and see if I can get her to do that with me. But other than that, I'm gonna ask you lovely people to hit the like button, leave a comment or two. Let me know if you went to college, and if it was on campus or online, and tell me how your experience was, what your major was, and if you're able to apply it to today's situations. And share this video. Somebody else might want to comment about it. And most importantly, if you're not subscribed to this channel, you need to subscribe to this channel. How about that? I would greatly appreciate it. I only have like 205 or so subscribers, and I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can get monetized and get paid for making all of this lovely content that I'm giving you. It's called edutainment, educating and entertainment. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and that's going to do it for this week, folks. I'll holla.